Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Spin Scott and this is the Contested Reality. Thanks so much for tuning in today. This video is going to be focused primarily on 6 of my favorite treasures or treasured experiences that I've had with Sorcery Contested Realm since first discovering the game back in November of 2023. But before I jump into the content, I will make my usual recommendation. Please make sure that you are following and subscribe to the official Sorcery Contested Realm sites and socials. I will make sure that they are linked down in the comments or description area here in the video, so you'll make sure that you're at the right spot for that stuff. And then also, if you would like to subscribe to the Contested Reality here, I'm honored to have you. I do plan on doing a lot more content. I just got back from Gen Con last weekend. It was my first time ever attending that particular convention, and I spent probably 90% of my time going back and forth between the 2 sorcery areas. Obviously, we had the release of the Dragon Lord mini set at the main booth, which was booth number 1460, and then also a massive play area with like 128 people, I think. It was a lot in the tournament, and with the Learn to Plays, I got to do some volunteering, and I taught some people how to play. It's my favorite thing to do with all of this. And I was honored because during the convention, several community members came up to me and were like, "Hey, Spin Scott, you need to make more videos on your contested channel. Like, you know, we like your stuff." And I was very happy to hear that. You know, I take a very pragmatic approach to these videos. It's not a lot of hype. So, you know, I never know whether it's, you know, primarily a hit or miss with the community. But hey, I got some requests to do more content, and I've been meaning to anyway. I've just been very busy. We all are with lots of different things. But came back from Gen Con very inspired by the forthcoming Gothic spoilers that were shown, Dragon Lord and everything else. So there we have it. I am back, and I'm ready to show you my 6 treasures or treasured experiences. The first one I'm going to talk about, which I've actually showed in a previous video, is 2 altars that I got from Marta Molina directly. I first saw these on her Instagram channel, and I'm not usually an impulse buyer when it comes to collectibles and things like that. I like to do my research. I like to research pricing and look into multiple sources and reputable sources and things like that. Obviously, when it comes to buying art, the most reputable resource is the artists themselves. So, and that came to pass in this. I got these 2, and they're just the most stunning cards in my collection. I will show you here. And these are 2 Altar, Beta, Lighthouse, and Oasis cards. I believe this was Marta's first panoramic dual site altar. So I'm excited to have these, and I will post pictures of some of these treasures as an overlay on the video with more clarity, so you'll be able to see. I'm not sure how good the zoom is. I'm still learning my new Lumix camera here. But anyway, I don't play water, but who knows? If I'm an earth and fire guy still, even though water has gotten much more powerful with Arthurian Legends. But if I do get into playing water, who knows, I might play with these, or I might just keep them in 1400 layers of protection because, you know, I just want to take care of these one-of-a-kind cards. So anyway, the next treasure that I want to talk about is actually one of my favorite experiences as well. In another one of my hobbies, it's a major hobby of mine, probably more than a hobby. I tour around the world doing DJ work and music production and things like that. And I was on tour in the UK a while back. It's just over a year ago, I think. It might have been maybe last May or around last May or so. And I was in the UK, right outside of London, and I had the honor to meet up with one of Sorcery's most prolific artists, Elvira Shakarova, and I got to teach her how to play Sorcery. She had the 4 beta precons, and I had what I thought at the time was my amazing Fire Earth Sorcerer deck. Challenge for me was that I still hadn't learned the lesson that even though it felt much more fun to draw spells rather than sites, I never really wanted to draw sites, so I never got enough mana out on the board to really win. So let's just say I taught her how to play. She very much taught me how to lose. I did win the 1 game. She won the other 3 though, and I gotta say, it doesn't feel too bad to lose against one of everyone's favorite Sorcery's artists. So like, I mean, it was just cool. But anyway, she had brought a brand new pack of acrylic markers to sign some cards for me, and I got all 4 mixes signed. I will hold 2 of them up here, and I will post I'll post a clearer picture of all 4. But as you can see, the signature is color matched to the card. I think my other favorite one here is what she did with the mixed Terra. You can see, you know, what appears to be the liquid gold, and then the signature on the bottom is pretty much the exact same color. So, I mean, as most people know who collect the game, the mixes were part of what was called the Alchemy 9 when the game first came out. I don't see them played as much now as they were. They were considered power cards a while back, but you do see the mixes pop up in decks from time to time, and I think their utility will really come and go as the game evolves. They'll become more powerful, maybe less powerful, but you know, it is a good effect and a good way to get something very strong out in an earlier turn. And I just love that I was able to get these 4 signed by her and meet Elvira. Very nice person. If you get a chance to meet her at a show, get some cards signed, I highly recommend it. Next piece I'm going to show is the first curio, actually the only curio that I've ever pulled out of a Sorcery Contested Realm pack. I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to open slightly more than 50 boxes of beta, which I know may sound way over the top and severe. But remember, I've mentioned in some of my other videos, I played Magic from about 1994 maybe to early 1996. And I didn't open a lot of cards back then either, but I really haven't opened any TCG packs in any sort of volume since then. So it's been decades. And so when I discovered Sorcery, and it brought back all of those nostalgic feelings, but updated with just all the stunning art and the gameplay and the grid format and everything else, I really jumped into this, and I ended up buying just over 50 boxes. And I know people speculate that curios are roughly 1 in 50 booster boxes. This came out of my 51st box out of, I think, the middle row of the box. And as you can see, that is a gorgeous sketch avatar of Earth. This happened to come out of a Wave 2 summer box. And if you're new to the game, you don't know what Wave 2 or Summer Beta means, I do have some other videos. I think Summer Beta Spectacular is one, and then First Look at Wave 3. They were just different print runs of these cards, and there were variations in contrast, color depth, saturation, and other image aspects of the cards. And so you'll be able to learn more of that. There's a lot of content creators actually did some really cool stuff on that. So if you're deep diving and you want to geek out on the different print runs, there's that. But I pulled this curio. It must have been like 1:30, 1:45 in the morning on like a Tuesday, and I know I woke up half the neighborhood. It was really neat to just finally pull something that was brand new that I had never seen in person. And you know, you get some of the content, some video thumbnails where you have like the gaping mouth, and people like it looks like the creator's about to have their tonsils removed or something. I don't do thumbnails like that, but I will say that if I had pulled this on camera, I may have been guilty of doing one of those. So I kind of wish I did have that on video, but I stopped videoing my box openings after a while. But that's one of only 2 curios that I own, and it's the only one I've ever pulled out of a pack. So super exciting. All right, let's jump to something that's not a card, but that is probably my favorite non-card treasure with Sorcery. I'll give you a very quick background on this. So I used to tell a story I basically came up with a story for some younger relatives. It's a kid's story. And it was about a mother and father dragon, and they wanted to teach the baby, or birds. It started out as birds. It was a mother-father bird that wanted to teach their baby bird how to fly, and of course the baby bird had to be good at school and had to eat fruits and vegetables or whatever the healthy food would be for a bird, and all of these different things, and it was a moral type of story. And then, of course, at the end, the bird does everything right, and the parents teach the bird how to fly. And so I've always been very into dragons and dragon lore. So we had some dragons in Sorcery. We had the Ancient Dragon, we had the East-West Dragon, the Curio West-East Dragon, and several other appearances, the Colicky Dragonettes, and a few others. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to kind of, redo this story, but with dragons, give it a little bit of edge. And so I thought, what Sorcery artist would be cool to get a commission from where I could get a custom painting or a 2 or 3 site altar done with this? And so I thought immediately of Aronja Art, because she did an amazing job on the 3 deserts. Of course, that's the Arid Desert, the Red Desert, and the Remote Desert, along with every other card that she's done for Sorcery since. And I reached out to her and told her the story, just kind of at a high level, because I didn't want to influence the artist too much. I just wanted to give her sort of a rough idea of what I wanted this to be. And anyway, she came up with this painting. And as you can see, it just does a stunning job of, you've got the mother and father dragon, they're teaching the little baby dragon how to fly. And when I first got a picture of this, a digital picture from her, I thought, wow, she pretty much nailed it. It's almost on the nose, like it's exactly what I was looking for. But when I received the canvas in the mail, I was blown away by the detail and just the way that I had said I wanted it to look like it had a bit of a sense of urgency. Like the dragon, he needed to learn how to fly in a hurry because there was like an impending doom or something in the realm. And she captured that urgency beautifully in this. And so really have a personal connection. She signed the back. I got it actually in September of 2024. So just about a year, just over a year ago. I love this painting. And again, it was great to deal with the artist. And I can tell you that's one of the things that I've learned very quickly in this scene is that interfacing directly with the artist is just it's really the best way if you're looking for altars, if you're looking for an original painting, maybe a sorcery original, maybe you want something special, whatever it is. There's nothing like interacting directly with the artist. And I've seen that from both sides because again, I do a lot of music production and I get to do, original remixes or maybe some commissioned whole tracks and things like that. And I know that the people that come to me for that are really appreciative of having the opportunity to work with me directly, and we can sort of exchange energy through the process, and it just creates a personal connection that lasts even once the transaction is gone and the money's been exchanged and everything else. You have something that you actually worked with somebody to get. So I highly recommend going directly to the artist for these things, and every time I've dealt with a sorcery artist, they've been very humble, very appreciative, and just a delight to work with. So yes, that's how you should go. Two more things here. So the next one is going to be another card, and this is a memento from the Battle of Elverson Fields, and that was a recent event nearby in Pennsylvania that we did, and we had, I think it was about 36, maybe 38 people, and there was a huge charity drive, and it was just 2 days of pure sorcery contested realm. Probably the best exhibit of original sorcery art that has happened in the history of the game, I would imagine. I mean, there was probably at least 15 to 20, probably more originals on display. And the gameplay was great too. We had a very large two-headed dragon tournament. We had a constructed tournament, which everybody participated in. We also had some sealed that included some alpha packs and some draft events and lots of snacks and great food and excellent company. And it defined the community for me. Like, I just had a great time. And anyway, everyone walked away with one of these. This is a village that was signed by most of the people that were there. And again, this isn't something that, if you weren't at the event, probably not something that really has a particular monetary value to, not something that could be really resold for any amount of money. But in terms of a memento and a piece of the game and a piece of the community, to me, it's priceless. And so that's definitely up there with my favorite treasures in sorcery. The last item I'm going to show is something that I got during holiday season 2024, so last year. You've likely heard of the Ruby Courier. That is the first and only paper and digital fan magazine for Sorcery Contested Realm. Shameless plug, you can subscribe to the magazine at the Patreon. Just go to Patreon, search the Ruby Courier. You can sign up for that. I've had the fortunate opportunity of writing content for the magazine pretty much since it started. I think my first article was in there. I'm just a guest author for some of the articles. And I did one, I think, in issue number 2, and I've done just about every one since. Of course, the main writer and editor is Jack, and he's also one of the best sorcery players out there, too. Doesn't feel good to lose to him, by the way. But anyway, he presented me with this. It was a one-off cover version of the cover with the accursed albatross on it. And it says, "Thank you for everything, Jack Hash, Editor-in-Chief, the Ruby Courier." And I will show that here. I apologize for any glare. I've got a brand new Lumix setup here and still working with focus settings. I may have mentioned that in the beginning. I've done a couple of takes on this already. But yeah, things like this, again, this is like a personal interaction with somebody, like all of the artist stuff. And I love collecting playsets and I love playing the game, but in terms of just taking a step back and celebrating your interactions with a hobby or with a product that you're really into, I think it's great to have some special things. And I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, and this is not comment bait by any means, but I would love to see in the comments and hear about what your favorite event or your favorite treasure or treasured moment has been with your journey through Sorcery Contested Realm. Because I mean, there's so much to talk about with this, and that's why we have so many great content creators talking about it all the time. And so I would love to hear what your special moment or your special card is. So if you want to leave that in the comments, that would be awesome. And that's pretty much what I have for today. Thanks again for tuning in. Once again, my name is Spin Scott, and this is the Contested Reality. I will see you on the next video. Cheers.